see this. This is great. Joe List and Mark Norman finally mention RedBar. Look at this. And a little RedBar in the wild, like the White Lotus. RedBar in the wild. This is the hot segment where we look at celebrities and famous comedians talking about RedBar. And this time, finally, I got this one. I got them. We almost have them all. You know, we almost collect them all. We don't have a Rogan. How do we not have a Rogan? Isn't that something? We've got almost every comedian.
I think Rogan and Ethan are the only two.
Rogan and Ethan. Now, what does that mean to you guys out there? What does that mean to you guys out there? Because we've gotten them all, and they all seem to know us quite well. I mean, almost every one of Rogan's best friends has had a giant incident with us. Brian Callen, Sam Tripoli, Joey Diaz, his best friend. Surely he brought us up to Rogan. Tony Hinchcliffe, many times, has, wished very ill of RedBar. Brian Redband, who is actually a friend of RedBar. So it's very funny that we never hear from Joe Rogan. We never hear from Ethan Klein. But we've collected everybody else that we've ever talked about on the show. Here they are. This is Mark Norman and Joe List staring right at us, by the way. So, man, Mark Norman, he's looking great. You know who Mark Norman reminds me of? Nick Viall. Nick Viall. Very similar. And there's Joe List. And Joe List actually got in a big fight with Travis Kelce this week. Joe List in the news. Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift's husband, stole a joke word for word from Joe List and performed it on his podcast. And Joe List called him out in the comments.
And he went crazy.
And Joe List went crazy fighting with all Travis Kelce's fans from the Chiefs. From the Chiefs. So, yeah, that's the latest news that Joe List in a big fight with Travis Kelce for stealing. That's going to make him a lot of money, that story. I mean, what an honor as a comedian to have one of your jokes stolen by Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift. That might as well. Taylor Swift said your joke.
As soon as, not like I'm in love with Travis, but as soon as he saw Joe's comment, he was like, this joke is from the hilarious Joe List.
Yeah, he gave him the shout out. And then Joe went crazy. Joe went crazy. He's like, but still. And it's like, isn't this, but you have a story now for your stand-up that's way more interesting than anything you've ever said. You've got this story. Certainly that's worth a little money. Aren't you glad? This is what I don't get. It's what I'm talking about. It's like, okay, Ethan Klein and Gila Klein, they're so rotten, they're so terrible. That's a good thing to me. You should be looking at it the same way. You should be happy that Travis Kelce stole your joke and then admitted he did that. And now you've got this amazing story for your stand-up and for everybody to hear. And then you got in the news. Your name got out there. It's a very funny story for a comedian to have. And if anyone's going to steal your material,
it's not like it's another
you're lucky.
comedian.
I mean, really, it's Travis Kelce. That's hilarious.
Someone says
that he stole your material.
I love you, but come on. It's just a regular guy, not a comedian, paraphrasing a small part of your bit. He doesn't know comedian culture. Just chill out and be happy. And Joe List goes, well, a lot more people would be enjoying it if he said, well, that's a joke from a hilarious comedian I saw named Joe List, and he's not just a regular guy.
Wow,
he's a massive
crazy.
Celebrity with a huge platform retelling my jokes, and at least...
This is all from Joe List?
Yeah, as if it was his own thought. He did the at least credit me in the comments after somebody asked him to. It's like,
wow.
I'm sorry.
I mean, that's brutal.
And the joke was just that Picasso was around at the same time as Mountain Dew.
So a football player shoved you in the locker and stole your joke? Is that what you... Seems about right. And you whined and complained about it? Very cool. We're after you. All right, here it is. They talk about RedBar. For the first time, I don't think I've ever heard these guys do it face to face.
Well, Joe List left a long comment on our first ever segment about him.
Oh, of course.
But since
And
then,
what about Mark Norman? Have we heard boo from him before?
I don't think so.
He's ready. Oh, he's not looking directly at me. Okay. He's still scared. He's worried, and he got dressed up, and they sat face forward for this one. This is almost like an apology video. but it's an addressing RedBar video. Let's see.
You're the best in the business. Number one producer. We'll be using you soon, I hope.
Please.
Chuck taking a beating in the early going here.
Well, you were on the road. I'm so jealous of the road, and you're covered in gray.
I'm all gray. I'm all gay.
Yes.
And
gray bar.
My beard's gray, and
So he says the words gray bar. It's a gay bar pun. He said he's all gray. He's all gay. He's going to a bar, and Mark Norman goes, gray bar, instead of gay bar. And then Joe List, watch what Joe List does. Coming off a Travis Kelce incident, personal incident. Watch what this list says.
all gray. I'm all gay.
Yes.
And
gray bar.
My beard's gray and red bar.
Excuse me? Why would you say that? You're all gay. You're all gray. Gray bar. Red bar.
Why?
Why? I haven't even been here. I've been sick.
Nice giant V, by the way.
Nice
What you
giant
got going
V.
on down there?
Holy shit. Nice giant V. Is this accessible? Oh, that's a beautiful mound. Delicious. Oh. Your child is so lucky.
They literally both just sat down on the couch and displayed their privates and thighs.
I don't
to
know
us. That's
how
the
anyone-
closest possible thing.
To me, I don't know
right
how you
now.
don't go out. You don't have a shirt that goes to your knees. I don't know how you could show your
And I don't
thighs
want
like
you
this.
walking
I
around
can't
New
believe.
York.
Imagine. I'd be mortified if this was.
I don't want you guys walking around New York judging people like you're so cool and everybody else in society is so crazy if you're going to sit down on a couch and show it all like this. How
I mean,
about
they're
that?
really. It's far too much. Okay, so here they go. Let's see what they do here.
Road. I'm so jealous of the road, and you're covered in gray.
I'm all gray. I'm all gay.
Yes.
And
gray bar.
My beard's gray and red bar. My beard's gray.
Got that.
The
I don't even want
sweatshirt.
to awaken that demon.
Sweatshirt, sweatpants.
I don't want to awaken that demon. Why? Because I'm Jewish? Anti-Jewish comedian Mark Norman at it again with his far-right hell.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to that. You don't want it with that demon, so I'm a demon because why? Because I'm an old, crippled, scary creature? Do you think this stance that I have is a demon? What do you mean by demon? Like a demon with a giant schnoz and Jewish fingers? What kind of shit is that?
That's a hate crime, and that's
You look
exactly
like a
what I bet you
Macklemore
see.
type Jew hater. That's what you remind me of. You're like one of those secret Macklemore, nice guy looking Jew haters. Tell everyone, listen to this shit.
Yes.
And
gray bar.
My beard's gray and red bar. My beard's gray.
Got that.
The
I don't even want
sweatshirt.
to awaken that demon.
Sweatshirt, sweatpants. I'm gray. My pubes are gray.
Yes. Gray skull.
I was out on the road.
Okay. And then he goes on, he had a lot of gulping and a lot of fear after saying that. Now, why wouldn't you want to awaken me? Could it be all those stories I've told that people have told me about you? And your shockingly horrific deeds?
Will you email us a
I don't even
story
remember. That's the thing about Mark Norman. If they asked me today, what did Mark Norman do again? Barely remember. And I would probably guess it to be something way worse than what it was. Because in my mind, I don't even want to say. If somebody said, Mike, do you remember why Mark Norman is like a little bit worse than these other people, you know? Well, my mind, my memory says, and I'm telling you right now, I don't know about any truth to any of this. But if you asked me today, Mike, what's like the thing about Mark Norman that's got you, that people have told you? The first word that comes to my mind, and I mean, I don't know why, because I don't remember why, but the first word that comes to my mind, rapist?
Okay.
Now, why is it that I think that?
So what you're saying is, so with Callan, for example,
Yes.
immediately you're like, Callan jacked off in front of the woman in the car. Callan took that
Allegedly.
woman,
These guys are looking to sue. They're going to sue any minute.
allegedly into the bedroom and said, I'm your boyfriend now. It was written in an article and you'll remember forever. Allegedly, Crystalia opened the hotel room door and flashed.
Mm-hmm.
So
See anything you like, he said. Remember when Crystalia? Hello? See anything you like?
But we only remember those details because of the article and the big press noise.
Yes.
So you actually want your crimes to be in the press so they're more defined.
Yeah.
Because if it's just a rumor,
If it's just a rumor,
You
yes,
could have
then
done
I
it
start forgetting.
all.
And really, this isn't some dirty game. I don't want you to be this thing. I really hope it's not true. I would like to have a long, nice relationship with you. And I feel like Joe List doesn't know what he's getting involved with here, maybe. And you better not fuck over Joe List.
You know what comes to my mind?
Because he can't take it.
With Mark Normand, sniff chairs. What's that about?
I don't know.
And I don't know the explanation.
And again, he did not rape anybody, I don't think. I really don't. Seriously. But when I think about, okay, what were his crimes? What were his crimes? As far as why he's got a bad rep. I would go, I don't know. Was it something to do with? It had something to do with women, I'll tell you that. It was woman-related complaints, right?
Yes, we had a whole segment on it.
I know,
with
I
Jen
honestly-
Kirkman, but since it was all rumors, it's
Oh,
hard
yes.
to. It's like.
But no, I thought that's what I'm saying. I'm only saying this because that's what's so funny. Because to Mark Norman, it's like a nightmare, and I'm this demon. And to me, I can't even remember, nor do I care if you did any of this. You know? And to him, it's like, oh my God, he's got to go through all this worry and stress thinking that I do and that I have a plan. There is no plan.
Don Draper meme.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's why I feel so bad, because maybe Mark Norman is thinking, all this trouble is upon him and, all this. And it couldn't be farther from that. That's what I mean. It's, this goes in one ear and out the other as far as your allegations, and as long as you keep yourself, dressed rather decent or whatever, just keep it up.
Just because you
Keep
said
it up,
RedBar,
buddy.
now my whole chat is going. There's a story of him grabbing the waitress and sucking on her face and licking her while she was struggling. He has a story where he was high on CBD and hugged and sniffed a chair the whole night before a big meeting.
Okay. So those are the things, I guess.
That's
So
why you
I don't
don't
know
say
why you're
RedBar.
doing this stuff, Mark, and I hope it's not true. I really hope it's not true, and I hope you don't do a right-wing pivot to get out of this